Hello there, my name is Matt Toofarber, and this will be a presentation on Wi-Fi security. I will be covering encryption and authentication. First off, we have WEP. It was first standardized in 1997 and stands for Wired Equivalent Privacy, though nowadays it is very far from that. And it uses static shared keys. What this means is that there is a single key that is used on both the AP and all of its clients. If this key ever needs to be changed, it must be done individually on all of the clients. There are two types of authentication, open and shared. While counterintuitive, open is actually more secure. Open does not verify that the client knows the key and will instead start sending an encrypted communication. In contrast, shared key verifies that the client has the key first. However, due to the way it handles this, it is actually less secure. This is because the AP verifies by sending challenge response text. So the AP sends clear text to the client then encrypts the text and sends it back to the AP, and the AP verifies that it was encrypted correctly. The issue with this is someone that can sniff the traffic and see both the plain text and the encrypted text can find out what the key is. The encryption uses an RC4 stream cipher that's either 64-bit or 128-bit. Both use a 24-bit initialization vector, which is chosen at random from the RC4 stream. With 24-bit IV, there is a 50% chance that it will repeat after 5,000 packets. This means if you sniff a network with enough traffic, you can find multiple packets with the same IV and attempt to crack it. Next up is WPA. Stands for Wi-Fi Protected Access and was standardized in 2003. WPA was just meant to be an intermediate standard until WPA 2 was finalized the next year. Its main benefit is that most client hardware that could handle WEP could be upgraded to WPA via firmware flash. However, due to the extra work on the AP side, most APs were not able to be upgraded this way. WPA uses the Temporal Key Integrity Protocol, also known as TKIP, for its authentication. This creates a new 128-bit key for every packet that is sent out. It is also based on the RC4 stream cipher. WPA2 was the follow-up that WPA was waiting for. It was standardized in 2004. This was the first standard in which all hardware must be certified by the Wi-Fi Alliance before advertising its WPA2 support. For encryption, it uses an AES-based encryption called CCMP, which stands for Counter Mode Cipher Block Chaining Message Authentication Code Protocol. So naturally, it was easier to call it CCMP. There are actually two different types of key distribution. The first is known as WPA PSK or WPA Personal. This is the common wireless used in home and residential areas, small businesses, the standard, hey, what's your Wi-Fi password setup? This question works because there is a single key used on all the clients, which can be 8 to 63 ASCII characters long. Most people don't want to type a 63-character password on their phone, though. This protocol can be used on both WPA and WPA2 networks. Then we have WPA Enterprise. That's the other option, also known as 802.1x. It requires a Radius server for authentication. Radius stands for Remote Authentication Dial-In User Service. This verifies that the user is allowed to use the wireless network instead of just having a key that anybody can use. It is also protects against dictionary attacks against a key since the user has to be authenticated. Authentication is handled by EAP, of which there are a couple prominent versions. There's LEAP, Eat Fast, and PEEP, which if you've ever had to manually configure something for UC's network, you'd know they use. And then WPS is another standard. It stands for Wi-Fi Protected Setup. It is commonly used for those that are less technically literate so that they could take advantage of a secured network instead of leaving them open. There's two common setups. The first is a PIN that is often physically located on the AP. It's an 8-digit code that you have to input on your client device. The other option is the WPS push button setup, which will often have that WPS logo with the two arrows. It's often a physical button, although it can be software that's pushed on the AP. It will then attempt to authenticate with a client. A button must also be pressed on your client so that it discovers the network. The AP will turn off the WPS signal once a client is connected or the time limit is up, which is often 2 minutes or less, to minimize the window an attacker could attempt to connect. And that is all I have. Thank you.